Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to foster the qualities that make a great business owner. So be sure to check out my other video where I talk about what qualities make a great business owner in my experience. So let's get into it. Number one is invest in yourself. So a lot of nurses, doctors, healthcare professionals, or non-healthcare professionals, they come into the med spa space, and because they love beauty and they get the treatments themselves, or they just see other people making money, they think, okay, all I have to do is get a nurse and offer this. And it just takes so much more than that about how to build a good brand, client services, and accounting, and just all the different parts that make a business. So my best med spa owners, they constantly go to conferences, they are doing leadership academies, they are networking, they're constantly investing in themselves. So be sure to not neglect in doing that. And a lot of them, they do a lot of clinical training where they go to a lot of advanced filler or threads and they know how to do everything, but they forget about marketing or they forget about decor. Like, you'd be surprised just how many things get neglected if you are only focused on the procedure. So keep that in mind. So great ways to train would be academies, even just like leadership academies. There's Cornell Online, Women in Business, Tony Robbins, or coaching, business coaching, wealth coaching, conferences in the med spa space, or even just, women in business or business in general. So be sure to check those out. Number two, self-promotion. So this is really hard for a lot of business owners. They don't want to talk about themselves. They don't want to draw attention to themselves. However, no one is going to buy your product. No one is going to invest in you or come to your business if you don't talk about it. So self-promotion in the med spa space really needs to come public and privately. So when I built out my business the first few years, I'm sure I was so annoying. I talked about it all the time. I talked about it basically to anyone who would listen. My friends, when they asked me what I did that weekend, I would say, oh, I did this Botox party and I'm tired, but I had so much fun. I got some content. And I had no idea, but what I was doing was planting the seeds in their mind so that 6 weeks later, when her coworker said, oh, I have some lines on my forehead. I don't know, should I get Botox? My name popped up. So I continued to do this just because I was so passionate about my business, and it was just, I ate and slept and drank it. And over time, I had leads coming at me from literally all over. And oftentimes it's from places that are unexpected. I thought that some of my family and my friends would be my biggest proponents, and they really weren't. Actually, it was random people that I had talked to who just got excited about my passion, or they were interested in it themselves and they wanted to share with their friends. So be open to where your leads will come from and where your promotion will come from. And then on the flip side, being public about your business is going to generate so much more leads for you, traffic, because a lot of women and men, actually, people in general, they want to get their services from someone that they know. And a quick way to build trust is actually just talking about the product. A lot of consumers nowadays, they need education. They need to feel that they understand what they're getting into, what they're buying. And so most people, they've done a little bit of research before they've come in, even if they're a first-time Botox client, and especially if they have gotten it before, they're gonna know a lot. So it's important that you show your face as someone who knows what's new in the industry, who's constantly training, who's invested in different parts of her business, working with other women, talking about yourself, post about your training, your credentials, where you worked before, what your brand is about, and you need to be posting regularly. So if you just post once in a while and you're like, oh, phew, I did it. No, it actually has to be a regular thing, because we actually have to see things at least 2 or 3 times before we go, oh yes, I wanted to book an appointment with her. And so you need to constantly be just doing it as a regular part of your routine. Like first thing in the morning, post 2 or 3 things about your business, what you're doing, even if it's just like behind the scenes. And people actually love to see the nitty gritty. So if you're actually having like a headache and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting any clients, I don't know what to do, and you're stressing out about money, like, do a story about that. Do a story about what it actually takes to build a business. A lot of people actually relate to that content a lot more than just, oh, everything's perfect, everything's going well. And number 3, you need to build a great team. So for me, this was really hard because I wasn't used to asking for help, and I really did want to do everything in my business. But once I hired a great CPA, once I hired a lawyer, once I found my insurance agent, my malpractice agent, and my marketing team, my photographer and videographer, everything started to build traction. So I was still able to do a lot of these things before these people came, but I just wasn't moving at a fast enough pace. And so once you are able to decide which people you want to bring onto your team, you need to build your team right away. I've also seen that business owners, that they get an administrative assistant or an office manager really early on, they're able to grow a lot faster. So this might be out of your budget initially, which is totally fine. You can start off very low overhead, but I will say it might be a good idea to invest a little bit of money or get a personal or business loan just to make all of your efforts more worthwhile, that you're not spending a lot of your time initially just figuring out how to schedule your clients. If you hire someone that can help you with that, you can actually just focus on the procedure and building a great relationship with that client. What also tends to happen is for nurses that come over and they just start doing their own injections, once they treat someone and yay, they've made a big sale, the person got 4 syringes of filler, 50 units of Botox, they go to check them out, and then the patient says, oh, I didn't know it was this much, oh, I didn't know it was that much. And now you're having to be the office manager who's enforcing prices as well as the injector. And so sometimes when you have both of those roles competing, it compromises your therapeutic relationship that you've built with the woman. So the sooner that you can sort of separate the billing, the sales, the pricing into someone that's their role, it actually preserves your relationship with a client a lot better. And you don't have to worry about it, so it's a lot less stress. And number 4, I've talked a little bit about this in the last video about qualities of a great business owner, but number 4 is create a spiritual foundation. So this isn't just woo-woo meditate, it is sort of approaching the business as a spiritual practice. So yes, the goal is to make money, but really the goal is to have a more fulfilling career than you had maybe when you worked in the hospital or when you worked in primary care. So you really have to figure out how to create your business and your schedule in order to do that. So for me, I worked so hard my first few years of building a business that I kind of got burned out of doing Botox and filler. So when I went to medical directing, I really wanted to create a schedule for myself that I was really excited about. And so my schedule includes a morning routine. I work out every day, and I schedule my office visits and visiting spas, taking owners to lunch, doing professional development. I organize it in a way where I don't feel like I'm rushing against the clock every single day. And so other business owners, they go to therapy, or they maybe do leadership courses in which they're able to say, how do I build a really good company culture that my employees feel they belong, that we do socials, that we do professional development where people that work for me feel that they're part of a team and they're growing. So really use this as an opportunity to treat it differently than how you would have approached your hospital job, because this is your opportunity and you don't want to recreate a lot of the same burnout that you did. Having your own business, there's a lot of potential for burnout because it's going to feel that you're never really done. You get home and you can't stop thinking about all these other things that you have to do. So how do you create a ritual when you get home to end the day? For me, I always light a candle, or I light some incense and I pray and I say, I hope all the patients that I saw today are well and they get better and they are healthy. Or if I worked with a business owner, I pray that she finds her way, that we will figure this out together, and then I let it go. So having some type of spiritual practice is really, really helpful to work hard and then let it go. And then number 5 is going to be, have a beginner's mind. Be open to how your business might pivot. I started out doing Botox and filler, and now I do exclusively medical directorship. because I saw that I made more money and my time was freer that way. So be open to finding the business within your business. And so many businesses develop this way. For example, Amazon, they started out as selling books and then they became a shipping company and they became so much more because of how they were able to build out their business. So always keep in mind that always look at your accounting because your numbers do not lie. See which procedures make you the most money, see where your time is best spent, where your expenses are the highest, and go towards what brings you more joy and what brings in the most revenue. For a lot of people, this changes their business over the years, so be open to that. All right, check out my other videos. If you like this one, be sure to like and subscribe.